and there's some sharpened pencils. Okay, so yesterday we did not even get to the first problem on putting it all together. So today we're going to be looking at putting distribution, factoring, and combining like terms together. For those of you at home, I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, so this first problem, go ahead and write down this first problem in your notebook. Answer choices and all. You want to make sure you have one good example. Okay, so which expression is equivalent to negative 0.6 parentheses 1.2x plus 4.5 minus 3 parentheses 2.8x minus 4. So when we see that number next to the parentheses, what does that mean we are doing? We're multiplying or distributing. So that is very important for you to remember. So for this particular problem, you're going to be doing it twice. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that sets up. So you have negative 0.6, then you have your box. I have 1.2x above the first section and plus 4.5 above the second. Then I'm going to go ahead and do minus 3, my second box, 2.8x minus 4. Remember, when you rewrite it, you need to rewrite it with the sign in front of the number. Okay, so now when we go to work it out, this is where I tell you, yes, when we did number systems before, we learned our rules. You were not allowed to use your calculator. It is fine for you to do the multiplication mentally and try to figure out your signs as best as you can. But don't forget to check it using your calculator. Why? Because I'm finding, or we're finding, that a lot of you are mixing up your addition signs with your multiplication sign rules. And so we end up with different signs than what we're supposed to. So it doesn't hurt to check in your calculator real quick. So let's go ahead and multiply. Negative 0.6 times 1.2x. What does that give me? Everybody's got a calculator. Use them. Okay, is it positive or negative? Negative. Negative 0.72. Remember, when we work out this problem together and I tell you to do it in your calculator as I work it out on the screen, that's just as much practice for you to use your calculator as it is for me to write it on the screen, because the next problem will be all you. So now negative 0.6 times positive 4.5. Now what does that give us? Emmanuel, negative 0.6 times 4.5. What does it give us? I gave you guys the option. Everyone decided they were going to look down, so now I get to call on people to practice using their calculator. Negative 0.6 times 4.5. Negative 2.7. So I'm going to bring it down. Negative 0.72x minus 2.7. Don't forget to bring down the variables. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other box. Please, negative 3 times 2.8. And Diego, you can start getting the next one ready. Negative 8.4x. And Diego, negative 3 times negative 4.
What?
We gotta speed it up, guys. This is exactly why we didn't get as far as we were supposed to yesterday. This was the only class that did not get as far as they were supposed to. What is it, Chris?
Positive 12.
Positive 12. Remember, you're putting that plus in there. So now I bring it down. But I am still not done. So I worked out my distribution and I worked out my distribution. Notice how I'm not bringing down anything that I used to work out my distribution, just the answers. So now I have to combine like terms. So remember, when you combine like terms, you're only looking for the terms that are similar. What I mean by similar is, if I have this number that has x, it can only be added or subtracted to this term that has x. I cannot combine it with a whole number or a decimal that does not have a variable. So I'm going to go ahead and put those together. Then I would put negative 2.7 plus 12, and then those would go together. Go ahead and combine those. Yeah.
Yes. So you're calculating the negative
So,
minus 8.12.
and then someone else is trying to get to the packet, so write it out all with one straight row so that you don't get confused with each other, okay?
Just make sure you don't say your X. Okay. So first off, this is not 0.72, 0.72 X. Can't fit the X. Otherwise we get wrong answer. And it's not just say for 28.7. All we put is down with the L is in the line. So yes, now you can combine your two X's, so you can calculate negative 0.72.
Now you're ready.
Minus, you can put plus on negative, or you can just put minus. Either works.
So that's
You can put plus or negative, or you can just put minus. It'll still be negative 2.7 plus 12. And then you take those answers with their positives and negatives, and you put them in front of the next page. Okay? Okay, so we are going to take negative 8.4. And we're going to. This one, we're gonna add it.
Why were you we were doing eventually, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw you doing it and I wanted to give you a chance,
No.
but I was gonna come back and say, have you checked it with your calculator? There's nothing wrong with checking it with your calculator. Okay, I promise. Working it out manually, like I said, do it first and then just check yourself.
These all that are representing a number of variables.
Okay, so when I combine my negative 0.72x minus 8.4x, what does that give me?
15.6.
Say it one more time.
Negative 15.6.
I think you forgot, you put the decimal in the wrong place for this one. Yes. Yes, negative 9.12. So what you probably did was 7.2 instead of 0.72. That's fine. You're not the only one. For the next one, negative 2.7 plus 12. What does that give me?
9.3.
Yes, Laura, why didn't you speak up before? 9.3. Okay, a couple things as we're coming around. We gotta speed it up a little bit. Apart from speeding it up a little bit, you have to be okay with checking it on your calculator. And when you're writing it, you have to be very careful that you're writing it with the numbers, with the variables, with the decimals. And notice how I write it all in one row. I do that because if I do it one on top of the other, what happens is it creates more confusion. Because if I have one box on top of the other box, then that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to bring these down correctly. So please get into that habit of writing it all in a row. You have space on your paper, even if you write big. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this one. And this is what a lot of your classwork is going to look like. So I do recommend for you to have this one in your notebook as well. So which expression is equivalent to negative 3, parentheses 4 minus 2g, minus 6? So this parentheses tells me I'm going to start off by doing what? Multiplying or distribution. So this is how I would set it up, and then I'm gonna leave you to work on it on your own. So I have -3, my box next to it, 4 and negative or -2g, then that -6 goes next to it. Why do I put that -6 there? So that I do not forget that when I solve this goes down, this goes down, and this goes down. And then I do my second step. But start by solving your distributions.
This is or you can write it on a I don't know, oh, because it ended up over here. Well, now you have to combine, right? The vanilla cheese. So just combine, yeah. And then you went from here down here. It'll look like minus. What is this thing I'm saying? Right? Okay. I was, because that's how you're gonna start seeing it. They're not gonna put plus. Very good. Okay. So now you combine my terms. Okay. And then what's next? We have 3 times left. This is good. This is the only way. So you do this one, this one. Okay, so this has to also be distributed to here. So I also do this times this. Well, the G just comes back down. So let's negative 3 times 2. Do you know how you sign this out? You're going to multiply here. So what gets you is this calculator, you're going to put it in the box. Yeah, negative 2 times negative 2. That means that you put it in negative 2 times. That's 6, all right, I'll be on. Okay, look at the book. Oh, yeah. We'll start with negative 3 times 4. It's positive, negative 3 times 4. Yeah. So now what's that? Now you can't remember it. And that would be. Now we have to combine the terms and go back to the test. Only needs 16, right? Yeah. No, don't. What's the 12 and then 6 like if you're doing it in your head, that's fine. Because then you're spending 3 extra minutes on something. You could have just got out of the doubt by checking. Okay? No, this is a plus because it's negative 3 and negative 2. Positive, yeah, and don't forget to bring your zero in.
Gotta bring it all down and then combine.
I just didn't catch it.
Okay, so when we did the distribution in the middle, Diego, can you tell me what negative 3 times 4 gave you?
-4.
Negative 12, and can you just go ahead and do the next one? Negative 3 times negative 2g.
Plus 6G.
Good. Positive 6g. Make sure you put that plus in there. And when you put it in there, whatever you're putting in that box goes down. You don't want to change it just because you're seeing other signs. So I bring down negative 12 plus 6g minus 6, and I put that arrow too low. So now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have positive 6g, and then I have negative 12, negative 6. If it's easier for you, you can just rewrite it as 6g minus 12 minus 6. And what is negative 12 minus 6? Negative 18. When you go to put this in your calculator, because the 12 has a negative in front, make sure you're not using the subtraction button. If the first number has a negative, you have to use the negative sign. So our answer is this. Now up here, which one would that be? Is there an answer up there that looks like this? Not exactly, right? It's flip-flopped. So this would be a negative 18 plus 6g, which is the same thing, making our answer what? B. Okay, so I believe yes. Okay, so go ahead and do this one on your own. You are combining like terms. You can work it out on your paper, but then make sure your answer gets on the screen. Yeah, kind of got it. That's fine. You can start where we are right now. I'll just reshare. Give me a second.
There. Here. Not there. Negative. So, 4 is correct. And once you do that, you'll still have the sign in the I just need to now. All we have to really do is combine, maybe as small as possible, so I have one light element. Again, one and two, combine that, so it's gonna combine it. So it's actually a box of that, box out. That's not just.
You have to already know your rule, so that you can have the large number on top. Or which number is bigger, 6 or 10. And you will take the sign of 10.
And no, it's not.
Which is what?
So the way to choose it is not
Yes, so it would be negative 4.
Yeah. So, no sign for the left out, driving.
Sometimes it's better now. Put a box around some lights. You want to put boxes or circles around like that. You don't, it's not easy, you're not going to do that.
Once you come back in. The only time you use this is when you have a number on the outside and something in parentheses on the inside. Do we have that in this situation? Yeah, so in this situation, all I need to do is combine any terms that are alike so that I can make the problem as small as possible. So I've got 6n plus how many other n's? I'll be negative 10n, right? We have 6n, take away 10n, or plus another 10, that is work. We want a piece. I'd like you guys to box now with the sign. So this doesn't have a sign up on this, so we're gonna make this positive. This has negative. This cube. See how it's
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick look.
6n.
So I'm gonna go ahead and separate my like terms. So I have these two terms that have n's. Remember to bring it with the sign in front, very important. We don't want it to get left behind. And then we have these two that are p's. So 6 minus 10 is going to give me what? Negative 4n. Remember, you can use circles to draw it out and create zero pairs. Check it using your calculator. Then what is negative 17 minus 9? Negative 26p, which makes my answer B. So now you guys are going to go ahead and do one more all on your own. It's going to be your exit ticket for today. Okay, so again, remember you can do it on your paper, but it needs to end up on the screen and submitted. Once one of us check it and tell you to submit, you can start your classwork. This should be just like the second example you did. So you use your notes. Nope. Your classwork isn't going to have anything for you to do. I was going to say, I remember you doing this. And I was like, color today.
set up right. You wanna make sure that the beginning is not maybe you get -9 times -2. Okay, that way it takes you your sign and it'll give you your answer with the correct sign. Because what happens is if you just put 9 and 2, then you don't know if it's positive, negative, what is it?
My answer is a sure 18. So all I'm gonna say, first off, you can get rid of the parentheses once you've done that math. Right? You don't have to put parentheses anymore.
Okay, give me a second, Alex, and I will check your exit ticket. I just need to stop sharing so that people don't see your answer.
Then let's do that. I want you to multiply that again, because I forgot to break something like that. What are you missing?
Yes, Alex, that looks very good. You can go ahead and start your classwork.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I thought you were gonna rewrite. Yeah, I thought you were gonna rewrite.
Natalie, it looks good so far. Keep going. Marcos, yours looks perfect. You can go ahead and start your classwork. Morelli, you need to check what you did. So 18 minus 10 would not give you that. The same thing with your sign in front of that 54, -9 times 6 would not be positive, would not give you a positive answer. Yes, you can. Laura, I need you to check that second box. You divided instead of multiplying. Alex, you're gonna give me a second. You're gonna have to give me a second because I'm checking people's exit tickets. Christopher, that looks good. You can start your classwork. Okay?
This is an X, right? So these are just numbers, right? So can I combine them? Yeah, something like that. When you do 18 minus 10 or 18. Got any calculator?
Alex, your classwork looks good. So you're good to go.
You can't because one is just a number. One is a number.